Come back if you need something.
Wow. That thing is definitely carrying around a bunch of Enclave intel. Adams is on the eastern seaboard of the country, which means that little Duraframe sucker somehow managed to survive for over 2,000 miles. Certainly lives up to its model name. I don't want to be alarmist or anything, but maybe you should ditch that robot, whatever that thing is. Who knows what it's programmed for? Maybe tomorrow you'll take out an iguana on a stick and that'll activate its mini nuke self-destruct sequence. I don't know if you care about my opinion, but I'd prefer that you turn Eddie over to the followers. Surprised, right?
Hey, you're your own person and all that, but you're acting crazy, and if you keep it up, I'm gonna leave. I like how you handled that. Nicely done. I can't say that's how I would have handled that, but why don't you make like Odysseus and get lost? For as lack of adornment is said to become some women, so will this place, without your presence, bring delight. I've run out of witty ways to tell you to leave, so why don't you just go? Oh, you're that courier, aren't you? The one who got mixed up with Benny over at the Tops? Sounds like messy business. You're that courier, right? The guy who runs the Tops, Benny. Heard he tried to kill you. I guess that didn't work out very well for him. Should I watch my back around you? I'd like to say that I saw this coming, but honestly, I was oblivious. For what it's worth, I'll do what I can to help you not get killed. So, Mr. House doesn't care that one of Caesar's most notorious Legion spies is walking around on the Strip. Either that or his Securitron's AI is too primitive to recognize the threat. Neither answer is particularly comforting. Oh, hello, Emily. Yes, it is I, Arcade Gannon, fellow member of the Followers of the Apocalypse. Would I like to help infiltrate the Lucky 38? I'm so glad you asked. That's a lot of energy weapons. Brings back some interesting memories. The Strip's not a bad place if you love terrible things and people. I'll never understand the allure of giving away your money to the rich. I've read about RepCon. I think they did some work with the government before the war. Rockets and some energy weapon prototypes, I think. West Side, huh? I passed through here with another follower a while back, Anderson. The locals were having a lot of trouble getting water through. West Side, huh? I heard about what happened with Anderson. Can't say I'm surprised. He was always a fringe operator in the followers. What's wrong with you? Killing Anderson isn't going to bring Corporal White back. Interesting way of handling things. Very sub rosa. I don't know if the Scorpions deserve to be wiped out for something they didn't do, but that's one less problem Westside has to deal with. Anderson turned in for the wrong reason, and Westside gets to keep siphoning water. It's hard to find justice in all of this, but I suppose this is as close as it gets. Thanks. Extortion? Really? You go through all of this only to extort the people who are trying to help Westside? Unbelievable. Hildern is a good example of big-picture obsession gone too far. At some point, he became so fixated on large-scale results that he lost the concept of the common good along the way. It's an inhumane kind of public service when people and the basic resources they need become numbers in a ledger. A vertibird. Interesting. It's been a long time since I've seen one of these. Wait a second. What's going on? Am I playing Virgil to your Dante? I'd like to assume that we're tiptoeing into the mouth of hell out of academic curiosity, but I'm not so open-minded that I've lost my brains. I guess I'll wait out here then. Hey there! Was it always your plan to sell me into slavery to Caesar, or was that a spur-of-the-moment thing? I need to talk to you about something, if you have a minute. Moreno took the fall of the Enclave hard. He never questioned his orders, never questioned the legitimacy of what the Enclave was doing. To him, it was all one unbroken chain, from Washington to Richardson. When we left Navarro, I remember looking up at Moreno. He said, "Kiss America goodbye, boys." When we left the Enclave behind, the love in him burned itself out. Now there's just a bitter old man left. Since my mother died, Daisy's been the only woman in my life. She was the only other woman close to my father, too. She flew him out on over a dozen missions, including his last. I've always been close to Daisy. There have been some good men along the way, but lovers make poor confidants. Daisy never had children of her own, so she was always there to listen. Being in the Enclave didn't mean much to her. She just loved to fly. It broke her heart to be grounded. If I had to pick anyone who didn't belong in the Enclave, it would definitely be Johnson. He hated what the Enclave was doing. Day to day, week to week, he would question orders, subvert mission objectives, do anything he could to serve without serving. It's amazing he was never court-martialed. He always had good things to say about my father. Said I was like him in a lot of ways. I wish I knew. Doc Henry always was a hard one to figure out. It didn't seem to matter whether he was working with humans or dogs. He had an equal lack of affection for both. A regular Diogenes. I'm not sure what the man was after. Knowledge is power, but to what end for Henry, I have no idea. The problem was what mattered to him, not its practical impact. He simply solved riddles because they existed. Judah Krieger is the glue that's kept us all together over the years, and with good reason. Anyone who can command Moreno and Johnson in the same unit without somebody getting fragged is one hell of a leader. Krieger was polite and kind, but never warm. He always did his best to make me feel welcome in the group. I think he did it out of a sense of loyalty to my father. Loyalty means a lot to Judah. Not loyalty to the Enclave, or even the ideals they fought for, but to the people who served with him. Thanks for doing this, getting them all back together again. I'll be honest, when Moreno started going off, I didn't think we'd all be walking out of there in one piece. I still don't know how this is all going to shake out in the end, but at least the Enclave can atone a bit for all the damage it's done. I shouldn't be surprised at what happened with Moreno. I hope that after all this time, he could put his anger behind him. Maybe everything good in Orion Moreno died at Navarro, and it was foolish to think there was anything in him left to salvage. You got the survivors of the Enclave back together so you could convince them to help Caesar? What are you thinking? Do you want to see Vegas turned into the new slave capital of the West? Like I said, I needed to go do something. This is it. It belonged to my father. Since you convinced me to help out with the defense of Hoover Dam, I figured I'd haul it out of storage. I'm a little rusty with it, but I think I can manage. As long as you got my back, of course. In case it's not obvious, I think you should redirect the power to Freeside and Outer Vegas. You activated Archimedes? What the hell are you thinking? Nicely done. I'm sure people will appreciate the power. I hate to have to rely on it, but out here, it makes a big difference. I suppose an even distribution is better than nothing. Everything to the Strip and McCarran, are you kidding? I guess I should be grateful you didn't activate the laser. You have to hand it to the NCR. Get enough hands working together and they can make or break just about anything. I'm not exactly a mercenary, but taking out scumbags of this magnitude wouldn't cause me to lose any sleep. Well, I'll be. Hoover Dam. One of the last remaining functioning wonders of the pre-war world. I'm amazed it's still running at all. Too bad everyone's killing each other over it. Hi. If you're looking for medical help, try the other doctors. I'm just a researcher. Not even a particularly good one. Well, we've had some laughs, you and I. But it looks like you're a crazy person, and I'm going to have to leave. What a load of Brahmin shit! Can you believe that guy? Hello again. Still in one piece, I see. What's up? I'm no botanist, but I think this may not be entirely natural. Nuclear waste disposal. Pre-war, people figured there was so much desert in Nevada, you might as well turn it into a big dumping ground. People didn't like it, but they weren't about to give up easy access to power, not with all the petroleum drying up. It's a shame what happened up here. I understand arguments about the fog of war, but that can't be much consolation to the survivors, or to the NCR soldiers who have to live with what they did here. Like I said, I needed to go do something. This is it. It belonged to my father. I thought I might wear it at Hoover Dam, but after you talked me out of it, I didn't see the point in hanging on to it any longer. I'm here because of you, so I figured you're the one most deserving of it. It should protect you from everything short of a plasma caster, and if you need anything at all, you know where to find me. If you want to talk, take off that ridiculous Legion uniform. It's insulting. What's up? That was the plan. Bye. In the words of Socrates, go fornicate yourself. If you lose your humanity, then I suppose that is all that's left. Okay. I just wanted you to confirm that I'm traveling in the company of an insane fascist. Thanks. I know I shouldn't place one life below another, but in Caesar's case, I'll make an exception. The whole slavery and cultural annihilation stance he's adopted is a bit repugnant to me. Though I guess what I think never really mattered much to you, did it? It isn't enough to mean well if you don't do good. I'm sure Caesar meant well, too. Great! You're either unimaginably cruel or profoundly insane. Either way, I'm not going to wait around for you to help the Legion roll across Hoover Dam. Bye. Sure, if you're a sociopath, enjoy the fruits of your labor. It's a good thing to be. But you may want to close the floodgates once you see how Caesar runs things. If you insist, have a nice life. Vitrix causa deis placuit sed victa catoni. Goodbye, courier. They sure don't. But I hope you get everything that's coming to you. Have a nice life. If the NCR is broken, it will fail on its own. The people who live here don't deserve to be victims of your misguided attempts at political engineering. Or are they just collateral damage? What? Caesar is going to enslave or kill everyone in the Mojave. And when that's done, he'll try to destroy the NCR Senate and install himself as its new military dictator. I can't comprehend how Caesar could so extensively scramble your sense of morality to make you think the Legion is a better alternative to anything. And you know what? I'm not going to stick around to try and figure it out. At least legionaries have the excuse of being born into it. Have a nice life.
Kind of you to say, but there are better people than me around here. I just hope the followers can make a difference in the long run.
How noble of you. Sorry. But I won't be sticking around to see if you have the courtesy to lay flowers on the mass grave that the Legion's going to dig for them. Well, at least the mess is ours to clean up. Wait a minute. Am I going crazy, or are you actually suggesting it might not be bad if the Legion takes over? That wasn't exactly the response I was hoping for, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Seriously, though, watch it. Because you're helping Caesar's Legion, they are bad. You are bad. I am going. Bye. Why are you crazy? That's a question for someone much wiser and more patient than me. All I know is that you are a bad person, and I don't want to be around you anymore. So if that was your goal, congratulations. If not, I'm sorry to inform you that you are, as the locals say, nuttier than a bighorner dropping.
Et tu, mi amica? Et tu, mi amica?
If by sometimes you mean a lot of times, I agree. Please, just settle down, okay? As screwed up as it sounds, at least she was a part of something. Granted, it was something admittedly pretty bad, but it was something. If you spent the first half of your life flying Enclave troopers in a vertibird, I suppose picking over pre-war rocket parts doesn't quite compare. Oh, I know. I was only a boy when they went through hell together. I'm glad you're helping me reunite them. Even if I'm still just a spectator in all of this, I know they can still do some good. I wonder if he would. It's pointless, I know, but sometimes I wonder what he wanted me to be. Maybe being a doctor in the middle of Nevada wasn't exactly what he had in mind for his little boy. Hold on a second. I need to talk to you about something else. I suppose you're right. When you're part of something for that long, maybe it's impossible to let go without losing part of yourself. Moreno may be a stubborn son of a bitch, but at least he's loyal. Not much glory in the Enclave. Most of our old comrades are long gone. I know life as a salvager can't compare to being a vertibird pilot, but at least it's a life. That has to count for something. Sometimes I wonder how much of my father they see in me. They went through a lot together, but my family went through it too. I'm glad they've watched out for me all these years. Maybe someday I can return the favor. I'm sure Henry has goals. He was just more concerned with the how than the why of things. Being in the Enclave didn't really mean much to him. I guess I'm lucky that I'm part of the followers. Helping people as a doctor is important, but with the followers, it feels different. It feels like we're working towards something more important. That's more than the sum of the good deeds that we do. I grew up without him. I'll always feel like something is missing from my life, but you're right. It's not like I'm the only kid in the wasteland who's grown up without a dad. Johnson always said my father was a good man. If that's the only thing about me that's like him, that's enough for me. I've been wondering about Daisy and the others for so long, I still haven't figured out what I should do. I mean, I'm not like them. I was born at Navarro, and my father served with them, but I wasn't really part of the Enclave. It seems presumptuous of me to think I could join the fight, even if this is a cause worth fighting for, because I know when fighting breaks out at the dam, all hell is going to break loose in Freeside. They're going to need every doctor they can get. It's been decades, you know. By now, he's been out of the Enclave longer than he was in. Most people know when to hang it up and start over. But not Moreno. Not everyone dreams of being a revolutionary, I suppose. Maybe we can't all change the world. Maybe it's enough just to do good for the short time that we're here. No one's going to sing Doc Henry's praises when he's gone, but he's probably saved more lives than I ever will.
It could be better. If we can find a way to work toward the independence of New Vegas, that would be ideal. But really, as long as you don't help out the Legion, anything's better than that. Did I say something? Sorry. Don't pay any attention to me. Just babbling. Nonsense, really. Babbling nonsense. For the past 100 years or so, the followers have managed to get by using salvaged medical supplies from the old world. But the side effect of medical success is that more people live longer. Funny how that works. Eventually, we'll run out of hospitals to loot. We need new ways to produce those supplies, or maybe old ways if this research goes anywhere. Not from the Legion, if that's what you're getting at. Books, sheet music, gladiator movie holotapes, bits and pieces here and there. The followers have extensive libraries, but we all draw water from the same old well. Even Caesar. Oh, sorry. There's nothing new under the sun. If agave and mesquite were that miraculous, the locals would have figured it out a few thousand years ago. Oh, finding alternative treatments for common illnesses and injuries, stim packs out of barrel cacti, and other fantastic improbabilities. As far as fruitless wastes of time go, it's quite noble in its aims. I don't know anything that the others couldn't tell you. Caesar was one of the followers. Before my time, of course. He wanted to rebuild the new world in the image of the old. A sad story of good intentions gone bad. In that regard, he's hardly unique. If you set aside his leadership capabilities, extensive knowledge, and ruthless cunning, he's just another jerk who steps on people to get his way. I can't say I understand your obsession, but for that, I suppose I'd have to spend a night in your grave. Fine. I'll stick with you. Just remember this. If you want something from Caesar, sooner or later, you'll have to give him his due. Short of canceling our imminent travel plans, that's the best thing you could have said. Just be careful. If we travel at Caesar's pleasure, he may not let us out as easily as he lets us in. I'm enthusiastic about helping people, but nihil novi sub sole. Oh, of hearing stories about energy, weapons. They're pretty crazy. Yeah. Very optimistic of you. You'll make a good follower someday, assuming Caesar doesn't have us both crucified. Caesar can cite Cato to suit his purpose. Many people have spoken Latin. Some of them were quite pleasant. It's unfortunate that the language is now associated with the gentleman across the river. Cuts, lacerations, broken bones, infections resulting from all of the above. Common cold, influenza, take your pick. There are plenty of ways to die out here. And most of them, surprisingly, don't have anything to do with war. Just common human fragility. Energy weapons? Of course not. I mean, but we study all sorts of science and technology, so, you just kind of get familiar with them. Yeah, not all followers are people persons. Besides, someone needs to do research. I have no problem with Julie sticking me back here. Out of sight, out of mind. There are worse things one can be, though I do admit it is a bit boring. Though it has a noble goal, I don't think this research will yield much fruit. No pun intended. I have to commend you on your sense of historical propriety, but have you given more than a passing thought to how we would escape? No disrespect intended, but you aren't the first person to dream up the idea. Just give me a sign when you're about to pull out the dagger so I know when to make a run for the cliffs. Okay, I hear you. Forget I said anything. Consider it dropped. Actually, I'm going to keep talking anyway. Sorry, but I really need to get this out. That's one way to look at it. Are you sure? I didn't even get to the ostensibly good part. If you're sure, I won't bring it up again. We can just go on our merry way, fighting injustice in our typical fashion. Any day now? Caesar's going to try to march across Hoover Dam and kick NCR out of the Mojave. We're getting caught up in something important out here. Hell, after how you handled Benny, you're practically right in the middle of all this. I know I'm just along for the ride, but it's made me think about the past and how I might be able to help out. Oh, after spilling my guts to you, I wasn't expecting that kind of response, but I understand. If you change your mind, let me know. It would mean a lot to me. The Enclave did a lot of bad things, but there were good people at Navarro. Good people with a lot of experience. Not many of them are alive anymore, but I think they can make a difference in the fight against Caesar. I wasn't always with the followers, or with the NCR. My late father was an officer in a group called the Enclave, a remnant of America's pre-war government. Memories being short around here, not a whole lot of people remember them. But they did bad things. Terrorized communities, kidnapped people. Eventually someone stopped them. I was born a few years later at a military base on the coast, a place called Navarro. Great! I'd like you to talk to the old-timers, the remnants. I don't think I can convince them by myself. To them, I'm still a kid. But you're a big part of what's happening out here. When you talk to them, they'll understand how important this all is. I've kept in contact with them over the years, so I know where you can find them. But I doubt they'll open up to you unless I come along. I know I'm not always the most serious guy around, but this means a lot to me. Thanks. Don't mind if I do. Enjoy your reign as King Scumbag the First, Overlord of Westside. That's a hard question to answer. I know I don't want the Legion to take Hoover Dam, so militarily, yes, I want them to help NCR. If possible, I'd like to figure out a way to help the NCR win Hoover Dam without holding New Vegas. A lot of different places. I only know what I was told. Some of them were cut down by the NCR and the Brotherhood. Some of them went east. My mother never told me what happened to my father. but she and I went south with some others and integrated into the NCR. When the NCR learned that Enclave personnel had integrated, we kept moving to the fringes. It's one of the reasons why I wound up out here. After the Enclave's command structure fell apart, it was only a matter of time before Navarro was overrun by NCR forces. My mother and I left with some of the troopers from my father's old unit, the same people I've kept in contact with over the years. Anyone who didn't get out was killed by the NCR. Even some of the ones who escaped were eventually hunted down by the Brotherhood of Steel. Stop thinking so much. Thanks.
Oh, to hell with this! NCR troops control Hoover Dam. Why do they need more power? That's a valid point. I'm not really behind the NCR in all of this, but the last thing I want is panic in the streets. Some people do. I just don't. Look, I appreciate that you're trying to be friendly, but I'd just rather not discuss it. Oh, all right. I'm 30-ish. Well, late 30s. I was born west of here. I was an only child and spent most of my time with my mother. My father died when I was young, and I never got over it. Oh, and I like medicine and reading books about failed pre-war socioeconomic policies. Right now, I'm sure you're asking yourself, why hasn't some lucky man scooped this bachelor off his feet? Like I said, I'm boring. What the followers always do. Whatever we can. Great. Glad we're on the same page. I mean, I didn't expect that you'd want to activate the super weapon or anything.
I can't leave now. Caesar has gained too much ground. I need to be here in case the NCR fails to hold Hoover Dam.
No, really. Have you ever snorted a ground-up Cazador venom sac? Neither have I. But I can guarantee you that a Freeside junkie has. Okay, you don't have to agree with me that much. Maybe if you're Mr. House, you do. I bet the people in Freeside needed a lot more than he does. You moron! You're gonna kill all the troopers down there! That's it! I'm out! Good luck getting out of this place without being shot to pieces by NCR soldiers, assuming they aren't going to fry to death. Okay. Yeah, exactly. They don't. I figured you'd say that. Sometimes staying put is the best thing you can do. I'll leave the fighting to the old war horses. It's what they were made for. I need to go take care of something before I set up at Freeside. I'll see you soon. And again, thanks for your help with the others. I honestly didn't expect you to say that. When I talked to you about Daisy and the others, you seem to put a lot of value in loyalty to the past. What's changed since then? All right. I'm thinking that I'm leaving because you're a sociopath. Good riddance.
I'm starting to remember hearing some rumors about you and this crazy guy called Caesar. Bad. Not a friend of the followers. Maybe they're not all true. That's enough for me to stand here and talk to you, but I'm not about to leave Freeside as your comrade in arms. Don't mind if I do. Enjoy your reign as Queen Scumbag I, Overlord of Westside. No offense intended, but why should I go anywhere with you? That's funny. Mr. House doesn't want to keep New Vegas independent. He just wants to keep the NCR and Caesar's Legion from pushing him around. He must be pretty convincing if he's roped you into helping him, but you can count me out. Plasma rifles. They were intended to replace the P-94 plasma caster. There was some corporate espionage going on between Poseidon Energy's Project Semele and whatever was going on here. All right, let's not waste any time. There are people out there to help, things to learn. Maybe not in that order, but let's get to it. Another one of Poseidon Energy's mini-secret weapon projects. Before the Great War. It didn't go anywhere. That's how Repcon got their shot, so to speak. I'm not sure why you thought a follower would want to help Caesar after all the misery he's visited on us. And the people we try to help. Well, good luck to you in your future endeavors, assuming they don't involve Caesar. Well, I guess that means you don't have to apologize to all the people in Westside you just screwed over. In case you weren't paying attention, you killed the only person who ever gave a damn about him. Huh. Good question. Must have been in a book. What does anyone know about them? Big flying machines, right? Crazy helicopters. So weird. Neither did Anderson. Of course, like I said before, not all followers are good with people. I'm fine doing research back here, even if it is a bit boring and pointless and a complete waste of time. Don't mind me. I'm just voicing my thoughts so they don't burrow out of my skull in a fit of abject despondency. Certainly. Safety first. That's all I'm saying. Ugh. I guess that means I have to go back to that creepy mausoleum Mr. House calls the Lucky 38. I've been around a few unsettling places in my life, but that place takes the cake. Anyway, if you need me, you know where to find me. Back to the tomb, I suppose. If you need me, etc. Fine, ignore me. Just don't ask me to reattach your arm when your pet murder machine goes into search and destroy mode. only to obfuscate my past association with a fascist paramilitary organization. I'm joking, of course. I will deflect personal questions at any opportunity. I'm really very boring. You'd get better stories out of a Freeside junkie. Back in your good graces again? I know you'd see the light.
Fine. Would you mind explaining why you killed Anderson? That was his decision to make, not yours. Well, yeah. Right. What did I expect? The man's a megalomaniac. He acts like this is some preordained cycle we're returning to. Of all the people who could learn from our past mistakes, he goes and throws all of our knowledge off a cliff. Instead of trying to learn from the past, he recreates it, runs back over the same old barren ground. I am, but they're still my family. I think you were right the first time. If there's something I can do to help hold the dam, I'll do it. Look, there's something I have to do, but I promise I'll be back in a while. Trust me. And thanks again for your help. It means a lot to me. This shouldn't be too surprising, but I'd prefer you let the followers examine him. Hopefully the reasons are obvious. Great. Then all is right with the world. I have to admit, I did not expect that sort of response. This is one of the last surviving suits of original issue Tesla armor from Navarro, and it was worn by my father, but... yeah, I guess it's no big deal. Good luck at Hoover Dam. I'll, be going now, I guess. All right.
Pulling bullets out of a vengeance-crazed drifter is truly a noble step up from tending to the downtrodden of Freeside. But I think I'll pass. Only because everyone would be conscripted or enslaved, and the people who are unfit for military service or slavery would be put down. Swell plan. Yes, a veritable Pax Romana for post-nuclear America. My political beliefs are a bit more progressive than outright fascism, so I'll pass. Thanks. The NCR had a chance to use the followers' skills before, but being imperialist mattered more to them. No thanks. If that's really what you're trying to do, I'll go with you. Things are hectic around here, but it won't mean anything if NCR or the Legion take control. I'm sure the followers can manage without me. Just don't try to help the Legion, and we shouldn't have any problems. Sound good? Probably not. Until things settle down around here, alleviating my boredom isn't a good motive to leave. Sorry. Wow. You sound like you really do need some help. Look, I can help you out, but you can't do anything I mean, you can't help bad people who want to hurt the locals in Freeside. If you do, I'll leave. Does that make sense? Overt flirtation will get you everywhere, you know. On a slightly more serious note, if you're interested in helping out with the troubles plaguing Freeside, I can come with you. Just don't do anything obnoxious, like trying to help Caesar's Legion, and we should be fine. Understood? That seems appropriately resolute and yet vague. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and go with you, but let me be clear about something. If you plan to help Caesar's Legion, this is going to be a brief relationship. I may not have all the answers for how to fix Freeside's problems, but Caesar taking control isn't part of the solution. Fair? Yes. The followers do not like Caesar or Caesar's Legion. You should also not like them. If you do, you like hurting people, and that is bad. Goodbye. Repcon went through some rough times. When the rocket business was shaky, Mr. House purchased the company. It didn't take long for him to repurpose their plasma technology for a government weapon contract. Well, I don't. I'm sure there were a few people turning a blind eye, but can you blame them? NCR sharecropper farms had all the water. The nearest fresh source is the lake, and that's a bit of a hike. Me specifically? No. I'm sure Julie Farkas does, though. Lab coat, pointy hair. Answers to the name Julie Farkas, strangely enough. I'm sure she can find something for you to do. It might be kind of depressing and terrible, though. Caveat Samaritanus. Personally, no. But thanks to you, Julie says we're a lot better off these days. I'll take her word for it. So thanks. I do say so. The followers aren't a military organization. If anyone knew what he was up to, they weren't talking. And if they knew he was stealing water, so what? Westside has more of a right to that water than the NCR. See you around. Fantastic. Now the only influential person who gave a damn about Westside is gone. Great job. In case I'm not laying down enough sarcasm, you just screwed up the lives of a bunch of struggling people. Look, the followers have had enough of a role in the misery that this area has had to endure. If you want to go off half-cocked and leave a trail of corpses in your wake, that's your business. We'll do our best to clean up your mess. Just don't try to drag us into it personally, okay? You've helped the followers, so you can't be entirely bad. To be honest, I haven't heard anyone say a negative word about you. As long as you keep working to help people around here get a fair shake, sure, I'll lend a hand. You help the followers, but your reputation isn't exactly spotless. How do I know you're not going to lose it out there? Here's my proposition. If you want to work together to help the people around here, I'll lend a hand. If you start acting like a crazy waster, the last time we discussed this, you didn't exactly wow me with your pitch. What have you got for me this time? Honestly, it isn't too difficult if you have half a brain and aren't a complete jerk. I wanted to help people, and I enjoyed learning, so I signed up. New Vegas is in trouble, so I came out here. If someone doesn't step up and try to help the people here, it's going to end very badly. It's a thing. A science thing. It hurts robots. Don't worry about it. Silly arcades just telling magnetic field jokes for his own amusement. Shall we? You're helping the Legion, a slaving army that will almost certainly kill and enslave the majority of people in New Vegas. What? Did you expect me to applaud your efforts to support a deranged warlord? Caesar is bad. You are bad for helping him. Please, stop. I think you're on the right track. The only way to ensure relative safety and independence for the people of New Vegas is to prevent others from taking control of the region. That means no NCR, no Mr. House, and no Legion. Helping the NCR is better than helping Mr. House, but I don't think it's the best solution for the people in New Vegas. If the NCR can take full control of Freeside and the Strip, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Besides, even if New Vegas eventually gets representation in the NCR's Senate, it's not like the NCR runs efficiently. I have to say I don't understand where you're going with Mr. House. The man's been manipulating the locals for as long as anyone can remember. If you help him kick the NCR and Legion out, he's going to keep right on doing it. The people in Freeside will be just as bad off as they ever were. If you can find a way to push Mr. House out of the picture as well, I think everyone will be better off. It just seems a little twitchy. Some of these robots, you look at them the wrong way, don't screw in a vacuum tube right. The next thing you know, you're a pile of ash on the floor and someone's stepping out of a vertibird to sweep your remains into a Nuka-Cola bottle. The followers taught me everything I know about medicine. Despite our humble abode here in New Vegas, we have great facilities back in the NCR. We may have overextended ourselves by setting up camp in Freeside, but the people here need help from someone. If not us, who? Does it? Does it? I thought my charm could win you over, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. You sure you want me to go? All right, I'll head back to the old Mormon fort. If you need me, just swing by. As the old saying goes, two's company, but three's a small army. Okay, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but you get the idea. You have quite the menagerie at your disposal. If you can get the posse down to small gang size, I'll happily go with you. A courier, doctor, and a cybernetic dog. After we deal with the whole imminent conquest of New Vegas problem, we should open an act at the tops. After spending 30 years of my life hiding my association with the Enclave, I'd love to stroll the wasteland with a twitchy eyebot. Thanks for asking. I appreciate it. I do. There's something about that robot that doesn't seem all right to me. I'm not saying we shouldn't take it with us. I'm just saying that if it were to fall into Lake Mead and be irreparably damaged, and if you threw an EMP grenade in after it, well, there are worse things happening in the world, right?
There are other ways to punish people. Other ways to condemn their actions. That's a grim deal to make. But when it came down to it, it's the same choice he made. Not all sacrifices are made by the willing. But where is the lamb for this burnt offering? No, I think it is the same for me. Maybe for a different reason, but you can't hold on to a past you've never had. For better or worse, I am not my father. I never had a life with the Enclave, and it would be silly for me to try to start one now. I'll stay with you until the Legion moves on the dam. But once the attack starts, I'm going to have to go back to Freeside. It's where I belong. I need to take care of something, but I'll see you soon enough. Thanks for all of your help. It means a lot to me. A fair point. But from the perspective of someone west of the Colorado, the man is clearly out of his mind. Maybe he didn't intend for things to wind up this way. But that doesn't mean he needs to perpetuate this bizarre anachronistic myth. And it doesn't mean that we should sit by and nod our heads at every absurd faux Roman casus belli he can dream up. He's a tyrant. The bad kind. And there's no way we're letting him take Hoover Dam. Being smart doesn't matter if you're insane. Everything makes sense to Caesar because he's twisted everything to his worldview. He's Caesar reincarnated. The NCR is the corrupt Roman Senate. I wouldn't be surprised if he thought the Colorado River were the new Rubicon. He abdicates responsibility to a myth of historical inevitability. But he's not Caesar. This isn't Rome, and he isn't going to get away with this. True enough. Maybe I can't fill my father's shoes. I wouldn't even know how. But if following in his footsteps for a while means I can do some good out here, I'll do my best. I need to go do something. I won't be gone long, but I'll catch up with you later. Thanks for your help with the others. It means a lot to me. I don't think you need to worry about the specifics. Basically, expect a lot of firepower and dead bodies. Enclave technology is even more advanced than Brotherhood equipment. And in the hands of soldiers as experienced as Moreno and the others, let's just say it's truly a sight to behold. Good point. You've been encouraging the others to stand up and fight. Maybe I should take the same advice. After all, I also lived in Navarro. There's something I need to go do, but I'll catch up with you later. Thanks again for your help with the others. It means a lot to me. I'm surprised to hear you say that. I thought you had a problem with people who hold on to the past. Suiting up to fight against Caesar with the Navarro veterans seems like, I don't know, like a kid playing dress-up in his father's clothes. True enough, I suppose. Giving them back together must be worth more than me spraying plasma all over the dam. Back to Freeside it is. I need to make a stop before I settle in. I'll be back in a while. Thanks again for your help. It means a lot to me. Of course, Caesar! You can hardly even hold his men responsible, given how they're practically raised to worship him as a living deity. What's the point of surviving the war? Why did the founders of the followers crawl their way out of vaults to bring knowledge back to the wasteland? So we could act like the last 2,000 years didn't happen? Play dress-up so we can fight ancient wars all over again? No way is he getting away with this. I'm not letting it happen. You're not letting it happen. It's the least I could do. All I ask is that you put it to good use. This place has lived in the shadow of Caesar for long enough. I may not be the one to help stop him here, but you are. Fortis fortuna adiuvat. Good luck. And goodbye. Some of the old-timers like Moreno hold grudges against the Brotherhood and the NCR. I'd like to think I'm above that, but you may be right. I'm not going to pout and cry if you give it to the Brotherhood. I'd rather they have it than allow all the knowledge to disappear. I'd just prefer that it go to an organization like the Followers, who are less likely to use it for violent purposes. Okay, don't have to make a decision now. Just sleep on it or something. Back to old Mormon Fort, where I can do some good. We Followers may be idealistic, but even I know this is going to end in blood. Fortis fortuna adiuvat. Good luck. And goodbye. The Brotherhood hoards knowledge and is obviously a smidge more violent than the Followers. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather the Brotherhood get the intel than see it lost somewhere in the desert, but I'd prefer the Followers overall. Though Arcade's intentions were pure and his goals were noble, he ultimately succumbed to the harsh brutality of the Mojave, like so many before him. Though the Legion was victorious at Hoover Dam, the legate did not have the same medical needs as Caesar. Lanius quickly tired of Arcade's acerbic wit and had the doctor crucified. During the retreat of Caesar's legion from the Mojave wasteland, Arcade was a sad casualty, one of many. His body was heaped with those of many others in a nameless ravine on the Legion's long march home. Though Arcade had not hoped for an NCR victory, he was proud of his role in the defense of Hoover Dam against the forces of Caesar's Legion. Unfortunately, when word spread that Arcade was once a member of the Enclave, he was forced out of the Followers of the Apocalypse. Pursued by bounty hunters, NCR Rangers, and the Brotherhood of Steel, Arcade pushed deep into the eastern plains and was never heard from again. Arcade had hoped that Freeside would be able to remain independent of NCR rule, but he was glad that Caesar's Legion had been stopped at Hoover Dam. He tended to the sick in Freeside for a while longer, then returned to NCR territory to become a teacher with the Followers there. Tricked by the courier and imprisoned by the Legion, Arcade remained Caesar's personal physician for several years. Caesar grew fond of speaking with such an educated man on philosophical matters. Arcade became his unwilling intellectual sparring partner. After years of such servitude, during an unguarded moment, Arcade used a surgical scalpel in his bare hands to disembowel himself. Lacking any other skilled medical personnel, the Legion was unable to prevent his death. Caesar mourned his loss for months. Though Arcade was crushed by the Legion's victory at Hoover Dam, he was not among NCR's casualties. During the NCR's retreat from the Mojave wasteland, he helped defend NCR citizens and refugees on their way to Mojave Outpost. Unfortunately, NCR Rangers identified his father's armor as Enclave property. He was arrested, tried as a war criminal, and imprisoned indefinitely. When news reached Freeside that Legion forces were approaching New Vegas, Arcade did his best to help people escape with adequate supplies. A Legion explorer saw Arcade helping locals escape and pointed him out to a Centurion. Arcade's group was run down somewhere near Westside. There were no survivors. Arcade was outraged by Mr. House's power play following the defeat of Caesar's Legion at Hoover Dam. Though he remained in Freeside for a short time after the Securitrons established widespread control, he eventually traveled back into NCR territory. Disillusioned with the followers of the apocalypse, he settled down in the outskirts of the Boneyard, where he worked happily as a family doctor. Arcade was proud to have been one of the defenders who helped repel the Legion from Hoover Dam. He was prouder still to see the area freed from the shackles of the NCR and Mr. House. Though independence for New Vegas was not all he hoped it could be, Arcade used his Enclave knowledge and technology to keep order wherever he could. Arcade was tending to the locals of Freeside when he learned that Caesar's Legion had been defeated and NCR was being pushed out of New Vegas. Though he found that independence for New Vegas was not all he hoped it would be, Arcade did his best to help the locals govern themselves. Though Arcade was proud to have been one of the defenders who turned back the Legion at Hoover Dam, he was crushed by Mr. House's ascent to power. Saddened by the loss of life and liberty in the area, Arcade left the Mojave Wasteland for parts unknown. He was never heard from again. Looks like trouble. Bad guys! Let's move on. Huh. Maybe I need some glasses that aren't 200 years old. Nothing here, I guess.
I don't have much protection here. Mind help me out?
I'm glad that's over with. I guess that could have gone worse. 18 Arcadia Ego. Oh! Damn it. Look out!
Easy as a heart transplant. Okay. Well, I thought my charm could win you over, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. You sure you want me to go? I'll head back to the old Mormon fort. If you need me, just swing by. Back to the tomb, I suppose. If you need me, etc. You have quite the menagerie at your disposal. If you can get the posse down to small gang size, I'll happily go with you. As the old saying goes, two's company, but three's a small army. Okay, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but you get the idea. There's something about that robot that doesn't seem all right to me. I'm not saying we shouldn't take it with us. I'm just saying that if it were to fall into Lake Mead and be irreparably damaged, and if you threw an EMP grenade in after it, well, there are worse things happening in the world, right? After spending 30 years of my life hiding my association with the Enclave, I'd love to stroll the wasteland with a twitchy eyebot. Back in your good graces again? I know you'd see the light. A courier, doctor, and a cybernetic dog. After we deal with the whole imminent conquest of New Vegas problem, we should open an act at the tops. Lead the way. I'm not exactly in power armor over here, so why don't you help lighten my load a bit? I'm not standing here because I'm overburdened with emotion. Take some of this stuff off me so I can move a little more easily. Okay. I'll do my best. Just as a warning, my covert bandaging skills are a little rusty. If you would like me to die very rapidly, this is clearly the best tactical choice. I'm not going to wander off, but okay. I'll do my best. I'll defer to your judgment, naturally. Okay. Understood. I won't hesitate. After you. No arguments from me. Just tell me where you want me. Not a problem. Let me know if you need anything else. Got it. Wherever you want me. No problem. I'm hardly a whirlwind of death when left to my own devices, but all right. Sure. Just don't treat me like a pack Brahmin, okay? Oh, I'll be here. Just don't expect me to fend off a gang of super mutants while you're gone. Okay. Just don't be gone long. I sunburn easily. You're not really supposed to be here. Maybe I should have stayed back in NCR after all. I could use a syringe of Med-X or two. Or 8. Ugh. Strange how dead bodies appear wherever you go. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. What a shame. Looks like break time's over. If there's one thing there's no shortage of in the Mojave, it's violence. It would be nice if things could stop tearing each other apart around here. Stop doing that, please. I'm not sure if you're trying to hit me or trying to miss me. Either way, stop it. Thanks. I assure you, you look extremely virile. Now, would you mind pointing that somewhere else? Thanks. What's up? Can't wait to see where this is going. Look out! Fighting's not my strong suit, but I'll see what I can do. I'm on it. Will the medical wonders of the post-apocalyptic world never cease? Good as new. Might be time for a weapon upgrade. I think I need some more firepower. Temporary insanity? All right. Did someone slip Psycho into your water, or are you just naturally berserk? What's going on? Huh. What the hell are you doing? Here we go. Holy... Where'd they go? I could use a doctor's bag if you have any handy. Oh! Ah! Oh!
Sorry, I'm out! Ah! Ah. 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 Ouch! Physician, heal thyself. I guess it's a good thing they invented stems. Not finding much. I guess they're gone. Probably for the best. Are you mentally deranged? What the hell is wrong with you? All out of ammunition. If you can spare any ammunition, that would be really terrific. Might need some antidote here. Yep, that's poison. Oh, that helps. Huh. Much better. We have enough problems around here. That doesn't belong to you. Mm-hmm. In my medical opinion, that could have gone better. Thursday! Wait. Damn it. This weapon's done for. I guess they just don't make them like they used to.